Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over how to paint your rifle. A quick tutorial. There's a million ways to do it. I'm sure some of you auto body shop guys out there will find fault in what I'm doing, but it's just an example for those looking to take the plunge. So we have the DDI AK here, a stamped one. I have it broken down to just the metal. For right now, that's all I'm going to paint. I'm debating doing the furniture or just putting some FDE furniture on it. We'll see how it looks when I actually get it painted and mocked up. So for right now, we're just going to do the metal. If you're doing the furniture, you don't need to break it down as far, but we have it broken down into as small of components as possible just to make sure that we can get into the little areas that you can't get when it's assembled. Now, that may be a priority for some of you, may not be, so it's just up to you how detailed you want to go. So what we're going to do now is we have hot soapy water here, and the soap's just to aid in the degreasing process, and the heat just makes it evaporate faster and also aids in the degreasing process. So you want it hot, about as hot as you can be, and still stand it. We have a flash hider in here. We're going to be just scrubbing off, get all the grease off that you can. If you guys want to use like a brake cleaner or something like that, that's probably more effective, but it costs money, so we're just being cheap here and showing you that you can do it without that kind of stuff. So just get all the oils that you can off the product that's going to be painted, and once we do that, I'm going to set it aside, let it dry. It's got to be completely dry before we go to paint. If you guys have an air compressor, that's going to greatly aid in drying it out. If not, it's a hot day today, so we'll just let it dry by the air and it'll be done in about an hour. So that's what we're going to do. Do everything, make sure we get all that grease off, because like any kind of painting job, the key is in the prep work, and this is no different. So just do it as much as you can until it looks like there's no grease on there, and we'll come back for the next step. We've got everything degreased, dried, and prepped. By prepped, what I mean is things that you didn't want to paint, I taped over, like on this AK, we taped over the rear sight. Additionally, I put some paper towels in the muzzle and in the chamber to block any paint from getting in there. You don't want to mess those dimensions up. I also put some paint inside the receiver. Now, you really don't need to do that on an AK. It's kind of just a personal preference thing, but don't really want to mess those tolerances. However, if we get paint in there, it's not really a big deal. A few hundred rounds later, it'll be just fine. But I'm using Brownell's Alumahide 2. Yep, Alumahide 2. This stuff here does a really good job. That said, if you want to paint and then repaint your rifle again down the road, probably not the best stuff to use because it's relatively hard to get off, but that's the benefit of it as well. It's relatively solvent finish. So this is solvent resistant, I should say. This is the OD green version, so we're just going to put a lit coat on there and let it cure just some tips. Today it's about 90 degrees, which is about on the upper echelon of what they say you should paint in. But heat is better than cold for painting it. The hot metal definitely helps it cure and adhere faster, and heating the actual paint up a little bit can help it cure faster. Of course, if you want to bake it after, that's even better. We can't do that here in this household, so Mrgunsngear is pretty tolerant, but she has her limit like all wives do. So what we're going to do is just get on with the painting, let it cure, and then we'll show you what it looks like after that. Of course, more light layers is better than one thick layer, so that's just something to think about as well. If you guys hear a lot of noise in the background, I apologize. Someone's mulching a couple of yards down from me. So what we did, since you've last seen it, it's been 24 hours. We let it dry, that first coat. We sort of assembled the metal parts anyway and taped off the areas that we don't want to paint. And I'm just going to do another coat with it all assembled. I personally like to do this because that way you can actually see how the different parts are coated and make sure they have similar thickness and things like that. Some people don't like it. Personal preference, it's just something I do. But that's what we're doing next, and this will probably be the last coat. Then of course you always want to clear your nozzle out at the end. Well, here's the finished product, guys. After we let all the paint dry and all that stuff, we decided to let it stay just green. Now, I debated doing a camo job. I'm still debating that. Down the road, we may do it, but
basically here it is. This rifle here now has 5 different range trips out to the range after the paint has dried. We let it cure for a full week before we fired anything through it. And so far the finish is holding up well. Of course, there's some marks where you'd expect the safety scratch there. But other than that, it's holding up real well. I think it looks pretty good, especially with this Magpul furniture for sure. But that's about it, guys. If you have any questions, by all means, post below in the comments section. But I think there's a few keys, which is going to be prep, light coats, and then let it cure for as long as you can with that aluminum hide. Of course, if you can bake it, baking is always better. But that's about it, guys. If you have any questions about the paint process or anything like that, by all means, post below. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so. And we'll see you in the next video.